Hey, wait. Before you skip ahead, just to let you know, you can actually watch the full version of this on our Patreon, and you can actually watch next week's episode a full week in advance. I mean, it's very easy. I mean, right down there in the description, or right up here in the corner. Feel free to give it a click, and we'll see you there. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is officially recognized as the worst episode in all of Avatar.
Well, shit.
It's called The Great Divide, so...
Yes. And it's not like it's a popularity contest or anything like that. It's just, you know, a lot of people have very, very, very strong opinions about the plot, and which I agree with. And maybe you all will agree as well. I'm not going to... I'll tell you what people have said after we watch it, because I don't want to spoil anything, but a lot of people say the plot just is not good.
Okay.
That's their biggest complaint with this one.
That's disappointing.
Well, that
I
being
always
said...
look forward to this, and then you're like, this one sucks. And I'm like, shit.
Well, I mean, hell. No, here's the thing. I'm lowering your expectations so that when you watch it, you'll just be like, damn, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Nate. That was the greatest episode ever.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not too proud to say there's a lot of stupid stuff out there that I just absolutely love, so...
Conan the Destroyer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, there's a few things. Like, I mean, everybody hates that game.
Jericho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the ending of it, but as a game by Clive Barker, it's a game by Clive Barker, so I mean, I don't hate it. Like,
Yeah.
just it could have been a lot better, obviously, but I don't hate it at all. Like, I enjoyed it.
It's a trash can, not a trash cannot.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
because something's trash doesn't mean it's worthless.
Very fit. Even a trash can has its purpose.
So if anybody ever wonders why we have a poster for universally considered to be a pretty shitty game up, it's my fault. So blame it on me.
That is the reason.
Bad enough to fight about it.
I wouldn't fight anybody about it.
Hey, I like the game.
If you say it's trash, I'm just
going to
be
fight
like,
about it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm just saying, if
It's
you're
still
not
kind of cool though,
if you're not mad enough to fight about it, then are you even really mad?
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Sheesh.
just
But
opinionated.
yeah, everyone's so.
I mean, just being an
opinionated nowadays.
edgelord, it's an edgy game, so I enjoy it. But.
Yeah, Edge Bro over here. Slightly edging out Edgeworth as the edgiest Edge Master Edgelord of all time.
Edgeworth, never mind. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
You still need to play those games.
But yeah, the Great Divide. This episode is generally considered one of the worst ones. But anyway, let's see what y'all think about it. This is Book 1, Chapter 11, The Great Divide.
What is happening? Oh, it's just
are
him.
you forgetting the tarp?
Right, got it.
Sokka, you're supposed to put the tarp on top of the tent.
You'd be right, but seeing how it's the dry season, you're not. Why don't you worry about gathering the firewood? Because that kindling's looking pretty sorry.
Well, if you don't like my firewood,
Fine by me, if you're not gonna do your job.
Seriously?
okay, I get the grub if you guys get the...
Why don't you ask Miss Know-It-All, Queen of the Twigs?
Oh, yeah? Well, you're Mr. Lazy Bum, king of the tent. Okay, listen, guys. Harsh words won't solve problems. You just switch jobs. Sounds good.
Whatever.
Give me the watermelon. Ha ha.
Come on, Momo. Papa's got 5 stomachs.
That's 3 more than I have.
I could just stare at it forever.
Okay, I've seen enough.
I also might be bad at math.
Okay, fair enough.
Reminds me of that Shawshank Redemption parody I saw a long time ago. Like,
It's either that or Mike is just secretly a space marine. So.
It's like the Joker. It's like Batman crawled through a river of shit over 600 yards long. I remember thinking that was the length of 6 ping pong tables. Again, not so good with the math.
It's a pretty good impression too. I like that. You could do some of the random videos of just Morgan Freeman narrating weird stuff. And
My
make it
name
hilarious.
is Morgan Freeman. and I am going to tell you about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
feel like if we could like kidnap a little Korean kid that's good at animations, you could just voice everything and start a new YouTube channel. It'd be fantastic.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I could get Jaden Animations to come down and do that. I'd like that. Hello, Jaden. If you're watching this, which is probably unlikely, just want to say I'm a big fan, and this man wants to marry you.
As like 500 people just take that clip and send it. It's like, well, this got weird.
Yeah.
Please don't let Nate creep you out, Jaden. I'm not creepy. I swear.
Now, if I want to creep you out, I'll just do Cleveland all day long. like, listen right here. I'm from Quahog, Rhode Island. Although I'm from somewhere in Virginia, I think called Stewart Bend, but nobody really watched that show to begin with.
Anyways,
Sorry.
let's watch this supposedly crappy episode.
This is the largest canyon in the entire world.
Then I'm sure we'll be able to see it very clearly from the air while we fly away.
Hey, if you're looking for the canyon guide, I was here first. Only way in and out of the canyon is with his help. And he's
Is he voiced by the same dude that voices Prince Zuko?
Calm down.
Sounds
We know
like it.
you're next.
You wouldn't be calm if the Fire Nation destroyed your home.
You're a refugee.
Tell me something I don't know.
Is that your tribe?
That's the Zhang tribe, a bunch of low-life thieves. They've been the enemies of my tribe for 100 years.
I didn't know the canyon guy took reservations.
Of course you didn't. That's the ignorance I'd expect from a messy Zhang.
Sorry about the wait, youngsters. Who's ready
Six
to
staff,
cross
bro.
this canyon? I can't guide people who aren't here.
Guess you guys will have to make the trip tomorrow. You're not seriously gonna cave into these spoiled Ganjin? We've got sick people that need shelter.
We've got old people who are weary from travel.
You Zhangs wouldn't have so many sick people if you weren't such slobs.
If you Ganjins weren't so clean, maybe you wouldn't live to be so old.
I can smell your
Well, Lang,
stink a mile
ready to
away.
put your peacemaking skills to the test?
This is something flawed with that logic.
This is the Avatar, and if you give him a chance, I'm sure he can come up with a compromise that will make everyone happy.
Travel together?
Absolutely not. We'd rather be taken by the Fire Nation than travel with those stinking thieves.
We wouldn't travel with you pompous fools anyway.
All going down together, and Appa here will fly your sick and elderly across. Does that seem fair?
Okay.
Sorry, Appa. You'll have to do this on your own.
No food allowed in the canyon. It attracts dangerous predators. Heading down in 10 minutes. All food better be in your gut or in the garbage.
This dude just pulled a whole ass chicken leg out of his.
See you on the other side, buddy. Yip yip.
See, my thing is, how long does it take Appa to make one trip across that canyon?
Right. Just
Job's
sit back and
much
forth.
more than vending, kid. Folks want
Couldn't he just kind of fly everybody across a few at a time?
You, everyone stand clear of the wall.
Why'd you do that?
These people are fleeing the Fire Nation, aren't they? We'll be safe now.
Ah!
We gotta help him!
Ouch.
Make like ludicrous and roll out.
What was that?
Canyon crawler.
Your arms, they're broken.
Without my arms, I got no bending. In other words,
We're trapped in this canyon.
It's the Zhangs. They took food down here even after the guide told them not to.
What? If there's anyone who can't go without food for a day, it's you pampered Ganjins.
I thought I could help you guys get along, but I guess that's not gonna happen. We should split up. Ganjin's on this side and Zhang's on that side. We'll travel in two separate lines. Saga, you go with the Zhangs, and Katara, you go with the Ganjins. See if you can find out why they hate each other so much.
You guys aren't gonna put up your tarps?
What for? It's the dry season.
Exactly!
Besides, we like to use the tarp as a blanket.
Finally, someone gets it.
You really think it'll rain?
No, but you can never be too careful, right?
No.
Sons of bitches.
Would you care for some bread, Katara?
So it was you guys who had food.
Oh, come now. You really think that tribe of thieves isn't smuggling food?
Why does your tribe hate the Zhang so much?
The patriarch of our tribe, Jin Wei, was an earthbender warrior who was assigned an important duty, transporting our sacred orb from the Great Eastern Gate to the Great Western Gate. But as he approached the gate, Jin Wei was attacked by one of the Zhang, a vermin named Wei Jin, who looked at the orb with envy and stole our sacred orb. Our people have never forgotten.
Care for some meat?
Would I?
I know what you must be thinking. We're horrible for endangering everybody by bringing food down here. They probably assumed we brought food in and decided to bring food in themselves. That's why we brought food in. Our conflict with the Ganjin goes back over 100 years. Our forefather, Wei Jin, was leaving the western gate of our village, Jin Wei. Collapsed on the ground. Noble Wei Jin stopped to help him. Jin Wei was transporting a sacred orb. Jin Wei insisted the orb was more important and asked him to take it back to his tribe. Kind Wei Jin promised to send help for the man. He was arrested. Instead of thanking him for his kind and selfless deed, they sentenced him to 20 long years in prison.
That's just terrible. You gonna finish that?
Sure would be nice to be around one of those.
Somebody's story is obviously not adding up.
telling stories and laughing. It's okay, Momo. We'll be out of here soon enough.
The Zhangs really wronged the Ganjins. They ambushed Jin Wei and stole the sacred orb.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Katara, what are you talking about? Wei Jin didn't steal the orb. He was returning it to their village gate and was wrongfully punished by the Ganjin.
I need you all to put your heads together and figure out a way up this cliff.
Maybe the Zhang can climb the wall with their long, disgusting fingernails.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that to the Ganjin, unclipped fingernails is a crime punishable by 20 years in jail.
How many times do I have to say it? Harsh words won't solve problems. Action will.
Perhaps the Avatar is right.
Yes, perhaps he is.
They go fight it out.
Kumite, kumite, kumite.
So bad.
He lost the end of his beard, and she lost the bob.
Hey, look at all the food.
Food? Everyone smuggled food down here? Unbelievable! You guys put our lives in danger because you couldn't go without a snack for a day? You're all awful!
They're coming back for me. They've had a taste, and they're coming back for me.
Sokka, wait! I don't care about this stupid feud. I just want us to get out of here alive.
I only took their side because they fed me.
I think that's the same thing with her.
Everybody, watch me do what I do! Follow me! We're riding out of this hole!
Okay, for them, those things don't have jaws strong enough to open and break those sacks open, I guess.
Might be like an alligator.
Guess so.
Oh,
Ouch.
I'm having a bad day.
Now they all get to starve. Because they're going to get down there for the food and not be able to eat it.
Too bad we can't rewrite history. You thieves stole our sacred orb from Jin Wei.
You tyrants unjustly imprisoned Wei Jin for 20 long years.
I know those guys!
Yes, we're all aware of the story.
No, I mean, I really knew them. I might not look it, but I'm 112 years old. First of all, Jin Wei and Wei Jin weren't enemies. They were brothers. Twins, in fact. And they were 8. And most importantly, they were just playing a game. The sacred orb from the legend? That was the ball. Jin Wei had the ball and was running toward the goal when he fell and fumbled it. Wei Jin didn't steal the ball. He picked it up and started running it back toward the other goal. But he stepped out of bounds. So the official put him in the penalty box.
You're saying the sacred orb was actually a sacred ball?
Nope, just a regular ball.
What about our tribe's redemption ritual?
That's what the game was called, redemption. As soon as someone got the ball from one goal to the other, everyone would yell, redemption!
I suppose it's time we forget the past.
And look to the future.
Sick of this place.
That would be too.
You knew Jin Wei and Wei Jin.
You could call it luck, or you could call it lying.
What?
I made the whole thing up.
Wow.
Did not. That is so wrong.
So yeah, yeah, he lied, made the whole thing up, thus pretty much negating everything he did as a good act.
I mean, they're not trying to kill each other, but
Well, yeah, but peace based on a lie. I mean, Rorschach always said peace based on a lie is,
Right.
you know, it
the feud does seem kind of juvenile, though.
It is juvenile. Well, it is because you're holding future generations responsible for the past's actions. Look, I get it. If you want to, if your family has done terrible things, or a family member of yours has done terrible things, it puts a black eye on the family, but it shouldn't placate literally every other family member to judgment based on the actions of that one person. For instance, if that were the case, I would hate Woody Harrelson. I would hate him. I would never want to watch anything he's ever in or anything like that. You know why? Because his dad was a hitman and killed people for the friggin' mafia and was a psycho. And is it right for me to hold him responsible for what his father did? No. It's never right to do that. It's never right to hold previous generations responsible for actions that they had literally no control over. And if you want to yell, oh, but the past is always around us. Yeah, the guy who said that, Robert Faulkner, was an avid racist. You're really going to take his word for it? I mean,
It does seem a little weird too. That it's oh, it happened 100 years ago, but like that guy, I mean, I'd say the beardy dude was probably at least 60. So it's like 100. I mean,
he probably would remember.
So his dad, I mean, he would be like, my dad wasn't around for the Great Feud. Like, that doesn't add up,
Yeah.
Because 100 years isn't really that long of a time. We were talking about a couple generations. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, 100 years ago. I mean, 100 years ago, World War I happened.
Yeah.
And it's.
I mean, and the last World War II veteran died in like 2009 or something crazy like that.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about that stuff, dude. I mean, you think about it. You think about all the all the stuff that people are held responsible for. I mean, for instance, we still have a black eye in the Middle East because of, especially in Iran, because of, how we treated the democratically elected president, and we reinstalled the Shah of Iran because he would give us a better price on the oil. That literally happened. And, yeah, there's a dick move. It's a piece of shit move. But all of Iran holding all of the United States responsible for it when none of us had a hand in doing any of that, it's a little ridiculous. And plus, us holding a grudge against, it'd be like us holding a grudge against the British for coming to the United States in the War of 1812 and burning the White House.
Sorry, 2012.
Oh, 2012. Okay.
110 years old. Wow.
Damn. He really kept in there, didn't he?
Oof.
Like holding a grudge against the British for the Revolutionary War in general would be ridiculous.
Yeah. And for instance, also, the Vietnamese holding a grudge against us for the Vietnam War, which I know that's about what 40, 50 years ago, and it's still fresh in a lot of people's memories. But honestly, getting people to let go of the past is a very, very difficult thing. Very difficult.
I mean, look at my grandmother. Like, she's born and raised in Japan, and now she lives in East Tennessee. I mean, her pet chicken literally got blown up. I mean, when she was a little girl, you know, they had to move out into the countryside because of the fire bombings and stuff. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, your grandmother was there for.
Yeah.
Damn, that's got to be like some difficult shit to go through, man. Because where we live in, as much as people say, oh yeah, it's like, oh, this world's chaotic, this world's terrible. Like, we live in a pretty comfortable pocket of the world, and like a pretty comfortable pocket of the universe. I know there's crazy people out there. There's always going to be crazy people out there. I mean, hell, I'm one of them. But yeah, to say that things were better back in the good old days. I'm sorry, but you mean in the times of war, famine, disease, plagues, and conquest? No. Things were not better. Things were much, much worse. I mean, we have these levels of comfort now because science and technology has moved forward and has allowed us to, like, for instance, the fact that we're talking to you through this magical cable that goes to the wall that feeds information out to this magical thing called the internet onto a website that we post videos onto. You see, we take advantage of this shit now with no prior knowledge of how much it took to actually build the stuff that we're using now.
I mean, even in our lifetimes, this is kind of some witchcraft.
It is.
I mean, because going from like, oh, we have this thing called dial-up, and it's like, I mean.
And then 20 years later, here we are, broadband Ethernet.
Watching like, Quantum Leap and like looking at like the computers they have where they take up entire rooms and stuff, and it's like that was the vision of the future where they still have those massive computers, and it's like, oh yeah.
No.
Like, tiny little things.
Yeah, and now, I mean, you've got these super processors. They actually have one. It's a literal super processor that has, like my PC's processor in there has 6 cores. 6 cores. That's, that's a lot. This thing has over 1,000 cores on it, and it's like a disc about this big around and about that thick, and it can literally compute. It can literally compute more math in one day than every mathematician on the planet could in 100 years.
I think somebody a couple years ago, my buddy was talking. He's like, "Yeah, my iPhone, it was a couple generations old, was like this has more computing power than the computers they used to do the Apollo 13 mission."
Yeah,
it's like wow.
That's just like the Voyager. Like people are still amazed of the Voyager and what Voyager sends back to Earth and everything. You look at that and it's like if it had the technology on it now that we have today, we'd be getting like ridiculous stuff.
Aliens.
Aliens, yeah. I think Voyager's actually left our solar system now, hasn't it?
Godspeed, Captain Janeway.
Yes. This is ground control to Major Tom. Sorry.
A little out of key.
Well, I'm not trying to sing in key. I was just singing it just for the hell of it.
I don't even know what that means.
David Bowie, Space Oddity?
No, I know that. I just
you don't know what it means to sing in key
and stuff. Yeah,
oh yeah, see, well,
the way he just sang it.
I sang it about.
He was like, "This is ground control to Major Tom," is what it sounded like. He just sang. It's like, "This is ground control to Major Tom." That's the correct key.
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying to sing in key. I mean, I'm just like, I'm play singing. I'm not actually trying to be serious.
I don't even know what an octave is. Is that the thing with 8 legs that lives in the water?
Yes.
Cool.
It's just 8, basically 8 notes at a time. It's like this 8 notes is an octave. The next one up is the next octave. The next 8 notes is the next octave.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like da na 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 na, and it's
do re mi fa sol la ti do re mi fa sol. I can't go that high.
Yeah, you start low and you build up usually.
Sounds complicated.
And then of course
it is. Music theory is very complicated.
Yeah, of course they also do the la 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 dum dum na 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 na.
See, I'm on to him because once I learned basically math, I was like,
sorry, but I mean, honestly, Mikey, you actually break the curve because the stereotype is people who have Asian ancestry actually are like extremely talented in music. Although you said it yourself, you are a hell of a tambourine player.
Oh no,
And then he
I have
admitted
no
after
rhythm,
that he has no
actually.
rhythm.
Oh, you know
No,
have no rhythm?
I have no rhythm.
Damn.
I said I'd get up there just with a tambourine, but
Yeah, I could just see you up there. It's like they got the whole world in his hand.
Yeah,
and instead you're just like, he got the whole world in his hand.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
You're just hitting it for the sake of hitting it. You're
Like
not trying to be on rhythm.
Just like a pinniped at SeaWorld.
I feel like rhythm is something you can kind of practice to an extent, but at the same
Well,
time, I
yeah.
guess I kind of knew it as a kid too, because I joined choir and didn't really know anything about the notes or the rhythms, and just kind of did it all by ear. So
Yeah, same here.
it depends on the person, really. But
Same here. I remember when
I feel like
church
if you started
choir-
playing rhythm games and just played them for a really long time, you'd eventually get rhythm down to an extent.
Well, of course, people can develop. It's just like, much like how the mind can develop, into musical theory and everything. Because there was a kid I knew, Aaron Baker. He didn't pick up a guitar until he was 14 years old. That's actually a late start. Like most guitarists start when they're 11 or 12. And he picked it up, and now the dude is hands down one of the best I've ever seen. And he doesn't know how to read music. All he knows is how to play by ear, and he knows like the scales by reading tabs. And he's just like, okay, so you want me to play this scale? Okay. It just goes crazy. I'm like, how? Like me, and he didn't have rhythm either when we were growing up. Like he had no interest in music or anything like that up until about 13 or 14, and then picked up the guitar, and then he just took off. And then of course, people can develop athletically too. I mean, like for instance, Michael Jordan, when he was in ninth grade, there's people who are like natural blessed athletes, like LeBron James, who is a freak of nature. And then there's people like Michael Jordan who have a decent amount of athleticism, but work very hard to like make it even better. And Michael Jordan, he got cut from his junior varsity basketball team. He got cut, and he went home and cried to his dad and mom and said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then he pretty much, like, his dad gave him a little talking to, and Michael said, no one out there will ever outwork me again. And the rest is history. And Michael Jordan became probably the greatest basketball player of all time. I mean, if you're willing to dedicate time and effort to something and really hone yourself in on it, people would be amazed what they can accomplish. Arnold Schwarzenegger had a great saying. It's like, imagine if you read 1 hour a day. If you read a book, if you read something 1 hour a day, and you took the time, imagine reading 365 hours worth in a year. Imagine how many books you would get through. Imagine how much knowledge you would gain by just dedicating 1 hour a day to reading. Same thing with working out. If you dedicated 1 hour a day to working out, imagine how much stronger you would be. Imagine how much you would accomplish and how much better your body would feel. Imagine if you dedicated an hour a day to cooking and learning how to cook. It's just time.
You got 21 hours left now. Every day.
Huh?
But now you have 21 hours left instead of 24 in every day. So.
What do you mean?
If you did all three of those.
No. I'm just saying, no, not if you're doing all three at once. Imagine if you dedicate 1 hour. No, if you have an extra hour in the day, if you solely dedicate yourself to cooking, or if you solely, with that hour you dedicate, you're not taking 3 hours out of the day, you're just taking 1 hour out of your day and you're learning one of those things. And you say you dedicate yourself to it for a year. Imagine how much you'll know. Imagine how much knowledge you'll gain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how much you'll do. And he's right. I mean,
the sucky thing though is you have to dedicate to doing that basically for the rest of your life in a lot of cases, because say if you're taking an hour out of your day to work out, you'll get really in shape, but then if you just stop doing that, you'll lose all of it.
Well, yeah, it's something if you want to maintain, you keep it in your schedule, and if you want to add something else in, you can. But it's all about self-improvement. See, that's all Arnold Schwarzenegger's ever been about. Self-improvement and making the perceived impossible possible. Because, when he gave his speech at, I forget what it was at, Jacob showed it to me, and it was honestly one of the most motivational things I've ever seen. Because Schwarzenegger's a friggin' anomaly, dude. I mean, you look at all he accomplished in his life. how many lifetimes would you have to go through to accomplish any of the stuff that he's done?
With my brain that I have right now, quite a few.
Well, yeah, anyway, everybody, that's, I guess, that random conversation was brought to you by the Renegades, where off-topic is our topic, and we don't know when to shut the hell up. Or at least I don't. I ramble. That's kind of my thing. But anyway, this was Avatar, The Last Airbender, Book 1.
Wait. So, the reason everybody hates this episode was just because he lied about it at the end?
Because the plot pretty much it makes it's not an interesting plot, and not only that, but its resolution is empty.
I mean, I'm not down on like the whole Hatfield and McCoy scenario, but I don't know, it did seem a little juvenile. Like,
yeah. That's the main reason why people don't like.
My main problem with it was just the fact that like that canyon didn't look big enough that Appa couldn't have flown them across a few people at a time.
And that's another thing they had a problem with.
Yeah, so that was kind of plot holy there. If
Logical
they had have actually
spatial-
made some good reason why Appa couldn't fly everyone across, it would have made a lot more sense.
it definitely did scream filler a little bit.
Yeah, which honestly, even people who do not like this episode admit if this is the worst episode,
oh sure,
then this is still an amazing series altogether.
Yeah,
because if this is
it
the
wasn't
worst
horrible.
episode, then no,
like,
this isn't awful.
I wasn't like sitting here like, when is this going to end? Like,
I mean, it's not like
I
Game
was
of
still like,
Thrones
all right.
season 8, where as soon as you watch a certain episode, you all know which one, and you're just like, oh my god, what have they done?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we all went through that in some way. So, anyway, everybody, that's going to do it for this. This was Avatar, The Last Airbender, Book 1, Chapter 11, The Great Divide. I hope that you all enjoyed it, and we hope that we will see you all in the next one. So until then, sorry, I can't talk right now. So until then, I'm Nate.
Micah.
I'm Nick.
And we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.